Hey yo, peep this.
Yeah. This is how we like to do it.
God's gift from above the skies.
No lie.
Tune into the buzz while you get high.
The hitter, spread some wisdom so you can relate on topics of every kind to elevate your mind.
Listen, Mary Jane is not a drug. There's so much love in every nug.
New strains, they'll be the judge and see what it does. It's between the buds.
Watch this. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Dro-Derrick checking in. I'm actually in a special place and got a special guest. I'm in Washington, D.C. right now, and I got a special, lovely guest, the world famous Linda Berry, Chef Linda Berry. Let me say that right. But no, I'm happy to have her as a guest on the show. She's part of the cannabis community in a lot of ways. Definitely, well known in Ohio and actually I think nationally in a lot of ways. So kudos to her, but I'll let her introduce herself a little bit further. And then today we're gonna get to know her a little bit more and her relationship with the cannabis plant. Linda, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to make this happen.
Thank you for having me on the show, and thank you for coming all the way to DC and me not having to travel to Ohio. So I love what you're doing. I love that you go to lobby on behalf of the patients in Ohio. So definitely, as soon as you messaged me, I was like, of course, I'm going to do a show here
I appreciate
in
that.
DC.
Yeah.
So my journey into cannabis. So I am actually a classically trained chef. I've spent the past 20 years pretty much working in professional kitchens, working with different clients, whether it be private clients, large banquets for up to 1,000 people, have my own banquets and catering company. And then one day I shifted when I was doing food manufacturing because I also had a hot dog cart and workforce development. And I was working with a client and they were talking about herbs, and it reminded me of when I was younger. And when I was younger, I planted gardens everywhere. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, let me look at some herbs that might be able to help you.
Correct.
And I kept seeing cannabis. This was probably like 12 years ago. So I'm seeing cannabis, but I'm not connecting cannabis to what I know as being weed, and all the other fun things. All of that. So I'm researching for literally 2 years. And I'm like, how can I incorporate this plant into food? Because this person specifically asked me for food. And then my aunt gets sick and I'm like, okay, now is the moment. I gotta do it. So I started testing grilled cheese sandwiches. Everybody I can get to come and eat grilled cheese sandwiches, we're testing out the strength, because for me, the worst experience I ever had was having a brownie and being on the moon for 3 days.
Too strong.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I need this to be manageable. And after I felt comfortable, I gave it to my aunt, who at that point was stage 4 with cancer. They gave her a couple months to live. She's still living. And that was 8 years ago. Actually, at this point, that was 10 years ago. So I took that. I had a client that was like, you know what, I'm getting married. I want vegan food. We're having a conversation about vegan food, and she was like, yeah, because I want to go into the cannabis space. And she was a nurse.
Oh, wow.
So we ended up doing my first events in the space. And we were doing food education with cannabis. And then that just launched into me working with the Cleveland School of Cannabis, and then me working with Chef Nikki and traveling the country and doing events.
Shout out to them both.
Yeah, shout out to both of them, because clearly, like, they've done a lot in the space and really elevated the way that we look at the cannabis plant, both of them. And so I'm very grateful for the part that they had in my journey. And so then that developed into like, okay, cool. Now can I put some products out there? And so products are the things that I'm working on right now. It's been mostly my clients that I've always worked with products on, but in the future, stay tuned.
Stay tuned,
because I am definitely working with some companies now and trying to see if I can get products launched to the broader public. Most of what I've done in my career has been private. And so I do want to, like, when I have people that are interested and they're not specifically where I am, I want to be able to help them as well, because that's why I'm in the industry, to help others.
And as you said, food is medicine, so you definitely find a way or a recipe or ingredient to make that's infused to help people in a wellness type of way. So that's dope. But speaking of that too, thank you for sharing a bit of your story. We're gonna get a little bit more of it too. But I like to kind of just ask a little bit more about yourself along the lines, and we'll like further develop your journey in this cannabis industry as well. How would you say cannabis helps you medicinally?
So I have rheumatoid arthritis, and so for me, cannabis helps my joints when I am inflamed. Helps to relax my body so that my joints can come back down to a manageable place where I'm able to be in the kitchen or I'm able to teach classes. And then in terms of like, I try to use the plant holistically. Yeah. So with terpenes and CBD, like I steer whatever is going on with me. CBD, if I can't sleep because the kitchen is brutal, and if you get off at 11 o'clock and you just came out of a crazy situation, right, your mind is not unwinding. So I'll take CBD and relax my mind so I can go to sleep, because right now I work 8 a.m. to pretty much 10 p.m. every day. And so I need that rest before I go back and do it again.
For recovery and relax. Yeah, I get that. That over time can definitely get exhausting and wear and tear on your body if you're not getting a full rest and recovery, like you said. For sure. But CBD definitely helps with that too. The plant has multiple varieties of cannabinoids, and at different ends of the spectrum depends on the strain itself. So that's awesome. How would you say you prefer medicating or using your cannabis?
Eating. That's like
ingesting. There you go. Hey.
That's my one and my two.
I feel you.
That's my favorite ingestion method, and I really like playing around with drinks.
Oh, okay.
So eating is cool, but the drinks, they bypass the liver.
Yeah.
And so I can take a cannabis tea and be good way faster than I can with food.
Yeah, that is very true. And well said, because being in a liquid form, sometimes it hits you much faster than people realize. So you want to, even with that, start slow and enjoy yourself. But that's helpful for people to know. Do you have like a favorite strain dominance or terpene? Sativa, indica?
Both.
Okay.
I love sativas, especially if they make you chatty, because sometimes if I go in somewhere and I'm feeling like I don't necessarily want to talk, I need to be able to talk if I'm doing public speaking or hosting an event, because usually the guests, they want that experience.
Right.
So I love sativas. And then I love hybrids because I also love balance. That's a big part of my life. Yeah. But my favorite terpene is linalool, hands down.
That's like lavender kind of.
Lavender, linalool and limonene. Yeah. So lavender lemonade was how we closed out every event, and that's even before I got with Nikki. But like we would do lavender lemonade with CBD to get like that relaxation. Yeah. That
calm vibe feelings. That's dope. I like that, and that just sounds amazing. Lavender lemonade.
Yeah, it's good.
That's a flavor that you don't hear too much.
Well, I gotta make you something. Yeah. It's Dro-Dericks' birthday, so by next year, before his birthday, I gotta get him some lavender lemonade.
Hey, that'd be fire. Definitely gotta try some. But yeah, as she said, it's my birthday. Appreciate her and the ability to be able to be in DC, lobbying for cannabis on my birthday. So kudos to bit of leaves and also just the cannabis industry. Now, NCIA, National Cannabis Industry Association. All right, enough with those words. No, I'm just kidding. So, when it comes to using this plant, it leads to us sometimes getting a little hungry or munch mode. Do you have like a favorite snack or healthy or unhealthy that it's your go-to? I mean, being a chef, you probably can just whip up anything you want, but.
You're right. But my favorite snack is not something that I would probably ever cook. It's actually chips.
Oh, like just bags of chips.
Like I love tortillas because the crunch. Yeah. Like I feel like you can feel everything so much greater, and so like my olfactory system is on 10. So I like the crunch, and if I got like some guacamole to go with the chips, that's my go just have the noodles in anticipation.
Yeah.
But man, that chip, like.
No, that's chill. I know what you mean. And the perfect crunch just goes with sometimes the flour.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with chips and guac. They serve that at most restaurants, especially Mexican.
Munchies improved.
Munchies improved, exactly. No, that's dope. What about, we all have our favorite go-to either TV show or movie that when you want to pass time. Can you think of anything?
Man, I feel like all of my answers are chef answers,
Yeah,
but
that's part of your passion, so I can't even judge. I respect it.
So Vice, the
Oh yeah,
television
that
station,
channel? Yeah.
they used to have a show called Bon Appetit, and every time they dropped the episode, I would subscribe, I was tuned in, because that was when I first started my journey, and so I was learning about different cultivars. I was learning, wait a second, you can make sugar out of cannabis,
Right.
you can put this into honey, and I learned so much through that it really jump-started my relationship with the cannabis plant. Yeah, so definitely Bon Appetit, hands down.
Salute to Vice and Bon Appetit. I definitely learned a lot from that show, like you said. And, they've had other cannabis-related shows, that kind of content that will have you glued in, waiting for something else new to release. So
They do a good job of destigmatizing.
yeah, I mean that's kind of what we all need to do. Come together to do it at our best to help destigmatize and deschedule.
And deschedule.
Yeah, because that's huge. Schedule 3 is not enough. Sorry, but it's still not properly regulated.
That's why I appreciate you being here and really lobbying, because it's one thing to say I have a company or I represent a company. It's another thing to come and say, now I'm going to work on legislation.
Right.
So I appreciate not just what you do in DC, but what you do back in Ohio as well, because you are boots on the ground. And if you all do not know, Dro-Derrick really is out here. Boots on the ground, making sure that his face is visible, that his story is visible, and that matters to politicians that don't really know about the plant, but if they can connect it to a person, then that really helps to shape the way that they view the plant. So thank you for what you're doing.
It's dope. To feed off of that, I legit had a experience when I was on the Capitol, and I ran into an aide of a House representative. And she just remembered, we kind of it was oh, you came last year, and it was so it's just damn, that you're showing up, showing your face does matter, and it does help, because as Linda said, they don't always know everything. They kind of just get a brief skim of stuff. So if people actually take the time and come down there and inform them on a more just clear or just simplified way, it definitely helps them to understand what they're working with. So thank you for acknowledging it as well. And again, thank you NCIA and Benelli's and all the other companies that believe in supporting and making the change, because our voices do matter, and we just gotta take the action and make it.
Yeah.
That's dope. So speaking of taking action too, though, if there's one thing in this cannabis industry that you would change, what would it be, I guess?
Knowing the milligrams of specifically food. Because again, to me, when someone has a horrible experience with food and cannabis, they may not ever give cannabis a chance at all. And so I think that if we could work more on the education piece or making testing more accessible, that at least people won't have the same type of experiences if they don't want them. Because there's people who want to have a good time.
Oh yeah, there's people that want to get blasted.
That's right. Send me into outer space. But then your grandmother might not. Your grandmother might be taking it because she really just wants relief of her pain.
And relax. Or she wants sleep. A lot of people just want to sleep.
Yeah.
They don't want to sleep in their dreams, in a sense, or kind of like a dream in a dream, I guess. I've heard people wake up in nightmares screaming because they may have taken too much, and then that also gives cannabis a bad look. And it's not necessarily cannabis that's the bad thing. It was how it was used, managed. So that's definitely something I agree. I appreciate that perspective, because that's also what we're dealing with. I feel like with this the battle of the hemp and cannabis industry, which is silly because it's the same plant, but it's really just some folks are dealing with lesser regulations and are paying less but willing to make more money at a faster time and rate, or even I gotta say take advantage, but it is kind of like not properly informing the consumer. And then you got people that are being like heavily regulated, taxed, and all that, and it's like it's just causing a war against both worlds instead of community. And we should just have it as a whole, because we're all trying to legalize this plant and move the laws forward. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Would you say, this leads to my next question though, would you say cannabis should be covered by the government as like a form of healthcare?
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of things should be covered. I think that healthy food should be covered. I think that certain herbs should be covered. Yeah. And in saying that, I believe that cannabis should be one of those. Yeah. But as we know, the money is not in prevention. It's in once you're sick, now we're going to pay for you to get your prescription. Yeah,
instead of being proactive, it's more like reactive, I guess. So I see, that's one of my biggest complaints that I can say as a constant citizen or patient. And I ain't gonna say constant, thank God I've been like, cutting back on my hospital visits with sickle cell. But when I go, it's bothersome to know that like food is the biggest way to like help heal yourself as well. But then to me, in my experiences, and I know I've talked to a few other people, some of the hospitals have the worst food. Like, they do. And then like dietary systems, it's like that. If anything, we should be paying for that. Like some of the tip top, best food options out there. I wish that I could like, if I had enough money, I would revamp the dietary systems in like healthcare or hospitals.
And to your point, most hospital systems get the same food that you would get from McDonald's or the same food that you would get from fast food. Right. They just don't put the amount of seasoning, or they don't fry it. Right. But they're usually getting the same companies in a hospital that you get that largely make a lot of people sick in the first place. Yeah. And it's crazy. Like, so if I had to pick, it would be that. Pay for the food, pay for the herbs, man. Just
help keep us live healthy and longer.
Yeah.
No, for sure. There's another thing I was gonna say though. I guess I know you mentioned that you prefer edibles or ingesting. So maybe if not necessarily having a strain name, would there be like a gummy or edible name that you? Or either one is fine. But what would you, if you had the opportunity to create like a product name or strain? I guess. Do you have one in mind you would like?
So if it was a strain, I think like the Alchemist or something like that, because I like to play with the science of food. And then if it was a gummy, it would be some variation of berry, like wild berry, something that like plays on my last name.
That's where I like that. The wild thornberry.
Thornberry, something that's like, that's catchy.
I like that.
But I don't want like a normal, like a blueberry or strawberry.
You want exotic fruit. I want something different. No, I feel that.
Different.
That's as it should be. It's respectable, and that would definitely stand out as well as your chef skill set. So kudos. I'm not sure if I got a chance to make maybe one of those events. It was like a while ago.
When I was traveling to do the events.
Yeah, with Nikki. I think y'all did one in Columbus, but it was like a while ago. And it was like CBD at the time because we couldn't quite.
It was a floating situation of like, first we got the CBD and then we got to THC, but then you had to also be a medical patient, and like it was easier when we were able to go to different places that actually cannabis was recreational. But we still tried our best at home though, because we want to make sure that our hometown is taken care of too, not just we're going to San Francisco or we're going to Chicago or Detroit. So my favorite times doing the events was definitely when we were able to be in Ohio amongst our friends and really doing this and having a good time with people that we knew. I love meeting people all over the nation, but it's something about Ohio, man. Even me being here in DC, I still miss it. It's like a hospitality, it's a grit, it's a grind that like Ohio has, and we understand it in each other. That I miss.
I get that. It is. It's, I don't know, something about the Midwest. No. DC's got it. They got their own little flow and go, but Ohio's got their, you know, their own Midwest bang, I guess, or swang, I should say, whatever you want to call it. Nah, but speaking of kind of music, do you have like any artists or genre of music you prefer to listen to when you're medicated or like cooking up in the kitchen?
Man, it really depends. Yeah. So I'm neo soul all day long. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. Yeah. But if I'm winding down, definitely jazz.
Okay.
And if I'm in the kitchen and I'm going the opposite direction, put on some trap music for me. I'm trying to get where I need to go as quick as possible. So I'm a range of things. But if I'm amongst other people, I try to hit the middle of the ground and just play more like pop music R&B. Or R&B, something that's upbeat, modern, but like if it's just me by myself, trap music. Or jazz. I'm like, there's no.
No, I mean, I get that because mine is situational. I might, like you said, one day, I might be listening to jazz, or later that day, or moments later, it might be trap, hardcore.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you're trying to like seek, I think, or feel. You know, so I respect that. And kudos to the neo souls. Gotta salute that. Well, do you recall the first time you ever used cannabis?
This is a layered question.
Okay.
The first time that I ever used cannabis, I was 100% not supposed to have ever even touched a plant or known anything about any type of substance because I was in elementary school. But my cousin's friends thought that it was funny to have me and my little brother because they were in a room and they were in high school and they were like, oh, we all passing around, y'all gotta try it too.
Wow.
So that wasn't great. Yeah. But then as an adult, so that brownie that had me stuck for 3 days, it was that one. High school, there was a moment, but I feel like that may not have been a real cannabis experience because it was sticks and seeds. Yeah. But like, we know what we was doing. Right. So we're like, we just gonna try to smoke it. That's probably why I don't smoke to this day. Yeah. But the brownie, I was like, man, I know this is supposed to do something good for my body because I did all of this research on cultures and how cannabis has been used for centuries. Right. But the brownie had me stuck for 3 days. And I called my friend and I'm like, are you actually my friend? Because why would you do this to me? Why would you give me that brownie and be like, this gonna have you where you need to be? Right. And then I had to tell people, so now I tell people, when you sell a product, you need to make sure that where you need to be is actually where somebody wants to be.
That's so true. Because your level may not be with their level at all.
Listen, because it was something that was horrible. But then there have been times that I've over-medicated on accident. So during the event, you can taste the food as long as it's not infused. Yeah. But one time for Thanksgiving, I was doing an event and we had Brussels sprouts. I was tasting the Brussels sprouts. Yeah. And we used isolate and distillate, so you can't taste it. Oh, so I'm just eating, we do the event, I'm going home, and then it's like dun 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 dun. And everything slowed down. And I was like, oh, okay, never mind. That was definitely medicated. So no fear of whether or not that kicked in for people because I'm sure they made it home and then
it definitely see, that's the thing. I mean, it's part of being educated. We're in this industry right now. I still believe we're like self-educating and doctoring in some ways. So you got to take notes. Start slow, and then even from your experiences, kind of like, hey, I feel like this got me where I wanted to be, or maybe I need to add a little bit more, or like take your time. Don't be in a rush to just go all in and then end up like steering yourself off or away. So no, I respect you for
the Brussels
being
sprouts
honest about it.
Took me out.
It's also, that's the thing. You can learn. I mean, luckily cannabis hasn't taken anyone out. I mean, the worst thing is you be sleep or maybe sleep for a couple of days. Just not like sleep, but just bedridden.
Yeah, like I'm couch locked. I'm here with it.
but like that's not like nothing fatal, and
Yeah.
it's like that'll only happen if you decide to test your limits without like proceeding with caution.
For sure. So on the food side of things, when we talk about isolates and distillates and taking away the terpenes, a lot of people like it. They're like, yes, I can't taste it. But the other side of it is that if I'm eating a brownie and I can't taste the terpenes, I know that I'm ingesting, but it's a slippery slope when you take them out. And so for me, I love having them, but I definitely have had clients plenty of times that don't want to taste it. They just want the feeling of it.
Right. No, I get that for sure. Do you recall any time that, I guess, well, like one of your funniest or laughable, memorable times using cannabis or with some friends? I guess I know you've done a lot of events. Do you have anything that you recall that you just always kind of reflect on or go back to?
So because I'm an instructor and I teach people how to incorporate the plant into their food, one of the funniest moments during an event, and it's funny now, it was horrifying when it happened. We had macaroni and cheese in California, and instead of us putting isolate in, we put terpenes because we always wanted to like put the essence of the plant back into the food.
Correct.
So instead of the isolate, we dropped terpenes that were orange. So you see people eat this macaroni and then they do like this. What's wrong with the macaroni? And we realized very quickly, you put drops of our actual orange into this. Yeah. So we had to kind of bring it back, but man, that was like, oh, my bad. I can laugh about it now, but when it happened, people were like, we paid all of this money to come to this event, and y'all gave us orange macaroni.
No, I mean, see, it sucks, but at the same time, it's learning curves, and that's what you have to do when you're not able to, like, you have to operate with what you're given. So I feel like, there was an experience you guys wanted to provide, and unfortunately, you learned the tough way, but now, hey, next time I gotta mix this, or you do this. So
for sure.
I think people can understand when you're trying to, cultivate something new, that mistakes are gonna happen. But it's still cool though that you're able to, own it and own up to it and move on from it.
And tell all my students, so hundreds of people out there know about orange macaroni.
Hey, no one's perfect. It happens sometimes. But no, that's awesome. Would you say cannabis helps you with any of your creativity at all? Or like, coming up with creative food dishes and ideas? For
sure. So when we talked about the sativas, there are times when I can take sativas or certain terpenes and just really get that creative spark. And so I love that about the cannabis plant, that it can do so many different things for you. But really, like, I'm gonna leave it there because I feel like it's another question that's coming it's gonna take me to where I need to go.
I was gonna say, like, how long have you been doing with, like, because I know cannabis can lead to some creativity, but it's probably led you to your career now and like the business you're doing. So like how long would you say it's helped you do that, or help make you feel more comfortable joining that approach to food and medicine, like just combining the two, I guess?
I would say for the past 10 years, which is crazy for me to say, because when I started, you couldn't have this conversation. I wasn't about to be on a podcast. I wasn't talking about this. And so to now be like, I'll do the podcast. I can have recreational. In that 10 years, being able to use the plant for so many different things, and not just for myself, but when I first started, my clientele were 60 plus. That was everybody. I was going into churches and they were like, hey, you helped me, can you help this lady? Or I was going into senior citizen homes and they're like, come on, and I look very young. So in a lot of people's mind, they're like, wait, she's gonna help me?
She's gonna.
But you know what? Being able to use the plant and being able to help people, for me as somebody who has an autoimmune disease, it feels like, okay, I have this, I can't get rid of it, but I can help other people because I was able to help myself. And manage on my own. And so if there was any blessing in having an autoimmune disease is that I know that it helps you for sure because it helped me. And it may not help you the same way because everybody's different. But in the 10 years, being able to see how it helps people differently.
Quality of life, No, that's awesome. I respect that. And same, like, you know, sickle cells definitely has an autoimmune disorder, or considered it as autoimmune disorder as well. But it's interesting how cannabis affects people differently. So like different forms, all of that can affect you. Even just you can have two people take the same milligram, and one might be out and others up, moving, running around. Like, so all of that is part of the experience, or I mean, you know, the journey to figure out what works for you in your body. Like you said, we all have that endocannabinoid system, and honestly, it's about doing your best to balance it, get that homeostasis. So kudos to you for knowing that, and also not only knowing it about yourself or for yourself, but trying to help teach that and express that to others. Because the more people know better, I feel like the more we all do better. In some ways, I guess. But so, what I mean, you kind of mentioned earlier your reason on what sparked you to get into it. You kind of like, you know, was learning that you know, herbs and just cooking with food is definitely medicinal and was inspiring to you. Do you ever see, like, you know, yourself kind of like trying to, obviously I know you said maybe working on a product, but would you ever own your own store or like restaurant or a little small, like what's a big goal or something that you could kind of maybe would love to see yourself make happen or chase? Put it, I mean, if you don't mind putting it out there, or not saying you got it, or cool. Something that's
cool.
Yeah.
I guess my big goal is to have a formal training program for cannabis chefs or people who want to incorporate cannabis. The products was like, it's so doable that to me, I kind of just kept pushing it away because I know at any moment I can do the products, but having a real facility for people to come into or something that's virtual where chefs can formally come in, because I mentor chefs all the time, I train chefs all the time, I do it through the school, but I also connect them into the industry. So being able to like have something where I have to have more of a time commitment again, but I'm able to open up doors for other chefs. Like that's my top goal. And I don't necessarily want a standalone thing for that. I want it to be something where I can go to different cities and connect them in, because usually that's what people want to know. They're like, I just started. I know how to decarb. I know how to infuse. I don't know how to do the other things, and I want to work with other people. Build your awareness of the brand. Now that's kudos.
You hear that? She said she want to work with other people. Kudos. That's not a lot of people say they want to help other people, help uplift others. It's usually, you know, some people can think selfish in some ways. So kudos to her for definitely wanting to spread the knowledge, education, and love that comes with, you know, cooking good food and just making sure food is our medicine. I respect you for, you know, your approach on that, and not wanting to, like, you know, hold anything. You're willing to share your knowledge and wisdom, and that's important because that's how we all get better and grow as a community.
And that's honestly how it used to be. It used to be, I take this thing, I know that it works, I'm going to share it, and I'm going to teach the next generation. And so for me, as somebody that, as crazy as it sounds, like I am now passing on knowledge to the next generation because I'm at the end of my journey and I'm ready to retire. So I probably will never retire, but I'm like at that age. You've been doing something for 20 years. You start to think like, what comes next? So that's really big. It's me imparting, but I've always felt that way, which is why I do workforce development and why I'm in DC training refugees. I love to share. I think that we were given gifts, we were given blessings to share that and impart that in other people. And so if I can do that for a couple of people's journey and they spread that to other people, that's so much more dope than me being like, this is my product, take my product. Or I can say, here's a whole lot of people who have products. Now they're able to spread that and keep going. And hopefully me saying I'm going to share it will allow them to have the the freedom to share.
Correct.
Because so many people are like, this is mine.
Yeah.
I put myself in a box,
Yeah.
and then they stay in that box. But the people who are willing to share, break bread, create community, they're the ones that grow, and they grow faster.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what it's about. It's supposed to be, you know, everybody wins or everybody eats. It's opportunity for everybody, and you got to see it that way. You can't just. I know there's times where we can get boxed in, but you got to do your best to kind of like, you know, let that go sometimes, because there's room for us all to, you know, I'm always telling people, hey, let's collaborate, even if you got, you know, other people have a platform. We can work together. You know, I'll talk to you about your platform. You can do the same about mine and help grow each other. So
but you have that spirit though, like you have a community-oriented spirit, so I definitely can see that for sure.
Yeah, see, and I'm learning that too, though. Not everybody, like, spirits are real, so I will say that. Like, there's people that got different levels to it, and good energy is always appreciated and needed, especially around my presence, because, shoot, when you got any kind of illness, that alone can bring negative energy.
You're right.
So you do your best to, you know, ward off any other negative energy. So thank you for that. But, you know, I do want to say, I mean, I want to ask, is there anything else that you would want the world to know about, you know, yourself or the journey? Because, you know, you definitely got a great story out there, and a respectable, you know, I know, just support and fans throughout Ohio and we're in DC now, I'm sure, just everywhere you touch the ground, like, same thing, you've always been willing to share and just help educate people. So kudos, every time I've reached out to you, you've always been, you know, responsive and willing to look out. So I appreciate you, and I don't know if there's like a website or social media, anything you want to share, but let the people know how they can get a hold of you.
So the last thing that I want to share is that education is really critical. Like, me and brother can have a free-flowing conversation because we both have taken the time to educate. And so if you are taking this journey for the first time, or you know someone that is trying to or want to or curious about it, I definitely advocate taking some form of education. You can go on YouTube. It's free classes everywhere. Be careful who the people are, but if you see a good amount of people that are following a video, that's a good source for you. So for my website, I'm actually working on classes for the future where you can come in and just get a quick read ebook that'll explain to you the system, your endocannabinoid system, how to do quick dosing for your foods, how cannabis interacts with different herbs, different terpenes. So be on the lookout for that. That part should be launching soon, as well as a really quick cannabis calculator that I'm trying to have be free, so that if you are creating goods, you can just come in, put in your milligrams for your cannabis strain as best you can, what you're using, how much, and how much you want someone to feel.
Exactly. See, that's important. And see, look what she doing for the community, trying to help. You know,
actually,
you know, it's all good, but that's better than not trying. You know, they say giving up is way better than not trying.
So check me out, chefberry.com for that information. The courses will be coming soon, but the calculator, the ebook, should be there within the next month. Hey,
that's what's up. Well, again, you know, Chef Berry, Chef Miss Linda, whatever you prefer me to call you. I genuinely appreciate your time and efforts, and just, you know, commitment to the cannabis industry and just food industry, period. Because besides cannabis, you're always, you know, dedicated to making good food and helping people to do that. So they got a saying about, you know, teach a man how to fish. They need to have a saying about teach a person about how to cook, because I feel like that's the same way in a sense. Almost.
It is.
Because if they do, you know, how to cook, they can, you know, live forever, or at least spread that on and help, you know, that be spread forever too. So that's a skill. Keep it up, and you know, I'm Dro-Derrick from Between the Budz. Shout out to Weed Jones and anybody else paying attention. But we checking out here from DC, and we appreciate y'all. We're all just buds, and we're all just growing.